Right. So I've sat silent and I've allowed a lot of things to be said and a lot of things to be done. But I can't stay silent anymore because now there's a gap of information that somebody needs to put into the public space, and because of the size of my voice and because of when I speak things go global, it falls to me. I want to say this at the start. I have the greatest respect in the world for Kamala Persad-Bissessar. She is a prime minister and a leader beyond any compare. And I say that as somebody who would walk away from government. I say that as somebody who never needed government to have a voice. I am here to serve alongside her because the things that she is championing are the things that I have been fighting my whole life. There's no secret that I am the only politician that has spoken about the 1% and the involvement of the narco elites in this country who were using the PNM and Balisier House to ride poor black people backs and fool them while they launder drug money and move cocaine through Trinidad and Tobago to the United States and further destinations. It is I who has kept that fire burning, so it falls to me. And to my Prime Minister this morning, if I step out of my lane here at all, I apologize. You still have my full support. But I have to do this today because Trinidad and Tobago and the future of this country is on the line. And you, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, are our only saving grace. And I want to start now by saying this. When Donald Trump was elected President of the United States this time around, Keith Rowley started packing. Keith Rowley is in trouble, and I told you all that. He is in global trouble. Keith Rowley is in serious, serious trouble. But it's not for me to tell you what. It's not for me to tell you how. And don't be surprised. That's all I could say. But the reason, and I told Trinidad and Tobago, nobody will just jump out themselves in the last year of a prime ministership and do all the gymnastics that it took to try and make Stuart Young Prime Minister unless you had a reason to run. Being Prime Minister is a sweet job. Everything. All that comes with it. Keith Rowley still can't get over it. He still can't let it go. He's still calling press conferences. He's still talking. He still wants the attention. He still wants to feel the sweet chemicals in his blood while people pay attention to him. That's what comes with it for people like Keith Rowley. So for him to give it up and pass it on to Stuart Young, you had to know he was running from something. Marco Rubio, when he met Stuart Young, he told Stuart Young, he laughed at him. Marco Rubio, representing President Donald Trump, laughed at Stuart Young for taking that job from Keith Rowley. And Marco Rubio told him, I don't have to tell you congratulations or condolences. The size of that threat is unmeasurable. And he was telling Stuart Young, all you don't know what all you're in, you know. All you don't know what all you tie up all yourself in. With all that conga dancing, you see your 13 visits to Venezuela, you see your non-disclosure agreements that Trinidadians don't know about and Tobagonians don't know about, the Americans know about. And Venezuela is a sanctioned country because of its illegitimate leader, Nicolas Maduro and his gang, Delcy Rodriguez, Vladimir Lopez, Deodatus Caballo. They are illegitimate. They stole an election. And he was telling them that, he was telling Stuart Young that you put yourself in trouble and you put Trinidad in trouble. The first sweep of Donald Trump's hand in the Western Hemisphere took away aid from Trinidad and Tobago and put tariffs on our exports. All the budget you hear is talking budget right now. We need America to buy from us. We need America to sell to us. We need America. Trinidad and Tobago is attached to the United States of America economically. No amount of drug money replacing that. But that's a conversation for another time. When Kamala Persad-Bissessar was elected Prime Minister, she made, and you could see, public decisions to realign Trinidad and Tobago with its major trading partner and the king of the Western Hemisphere. I'm telling you this Putin and China could strip naked in Venezuela. Have nothing to do with Trump. This is the Western Hemisphere. I told you all the first video I did about Diodados Caballo. I told you all that there is something called the Monroe Doctrine, and it is real. Okay? I don't want to go into too much geopolitics right now because I am also a government minister, a senator, and so there's a certain amount of weight on the words that come out of my mouth, and that certain people in the PNM could take it and twist it. But I just giving you what's in the public space for you to see, or what's a Google or a chat GPT search away. So, yeah, everybody needs to pat down. I said yesterday, Maduro and them bringing out the Ham and Jam squad to lime and cheer for him does not undo the fact that a third of the population of Venezuela fled that country. The richest mineral and oil country in the world. Why would a third of its citizens flee? There are people who say American sanctions. There are other people who tell you Venezuela don't care about American sanctions because China and Russia buying American oil. So what is the truth? I don't know. I am not the Venezuelan Minister of the Economy, but I could tell you, I could smell bullshit a mile away. They fled violence, murder, secret police. They fled dictatorship. They fled detention orders without action, without access to lawyers under normal circumstances, not even a state of emergency. They've been living under martial law and they fled. A lot of them came to Trinidad and Tobago and they've been accepted with open arms. And as an aside, I want to tell you this. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister of the Republic is a much larger, stronger Prime Minister than Keith Rowley. They have about 9 PNM MPs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has a special majority, and if she wanted to move clumsy, she could move very clumsy. She is moving measured and transparent. Whereas the PNM, with a little 2-seat majority, had done everything hidden and in the dark and used their 1% friends to dominate the narrative and fool you into believing that the things that they were doing was right. It was never right. It was always wrong. And where they were taking us was the same place Maduro took Venezuela. Complete lockdown, dictatorship, control of everything. And that is what we rescued Trinidad and Tobago from. And that's why I am proud to be a part of this government. And I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something this morning. The reason Venezuela and Maduro has to march and protest against Kamala is because they can't call Trump name. Maduro know that Trump seething vexed with Venezuela. Trump gave orders to bomb the boats. That is unheralded. All the talk we talking, that is just talk. Mia, Ralph, Holness, everybody. Rowley, everybody want to talk. Let's just talk. Trump is the most powerful man in the world right now. Face reality. The most powerful man in the world. I remember Saddam Hussein with his sword, gassing up the crowds, talking about the 4th largest army, the 4th mightiest army. The Republican Guard was decimated in 24 hours from the sky. They didn't even touch ground. They destroyed the entire Republican Guard that Faris al-Rawi father used to work for, that where Faris come from. They destroyed from the sky. The Iraqi soldiers were surrendering to news crews, CNN. They surrendered to the American reporters just to get away. There are Venezuelan people in this country working as prostitutes. They have all them rent a room for an hour. That build up in this country. They have chains of them running through this country right now, built on an abundance of prostitution because Venezuelan women had no other option, nothing else to do, and Trinidadians willingly paying for sex. All of this is true. There are doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects working in bars, mixing concrete, cleaning road and drain for small money just to feed their families because of Maduro, because of the existence of Maduro, Rodriguez, Caballo, and Lopez. I ask you a question. If somebody had seized power in Trinidad and Tobago and had put your country under dictatorship and you couldn't leave and you couldn't feed your family, wouldn't you want somebody like the United States of America to come and rescue you? That's what the Venezuelans feel. Talk to any Venezuelan. Talk to any Venezuelan who's not under the control of Nicolas Maduro and his gang, and they are blessing God and blessing life and blessing Donald Trump and blessing Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Now make no mistake, Kamala Persad-Bissessar has not taken a position on the government of Venezuela at any point. In fact, she silenced her strongest voice, my voice, because I was riding for Delcy. I had ridden for Caballo. I was going to expose them for the world. But the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and my leader, has taken a position. And her position is she is not enunciating any position up to this point on the legitimacy of the leadership of Venezuela. She is simply dealing with the drug trafficking that has funded the narco elite in Trinidad and Tobago, who have under the last 10 years overseen the largest transfer of public wealth into private hands. And if I had my way, and if she gave me the position, because the position I wanted was corruption czar, everybody knew that. I wanted to launch the investigation to all the transfers, and I'm happy to see things, and I can't talk about them, and I need you to understand. Because as a government minister and a senator, I could influence outcomes of court matters, and I'm not going to take that chance. But I want to tell you things are happening. I want to give you a small example. When the judge in that CPEF matter stopped the matter and sent the files to the DPP, Faris Al-Rawi in trouble. Foster coming silent because he waiting to see where all the investigations into him go. In. There were a lot of people in the PNM. Stuart Young, Keith Rowley, Penny Beckers. David Lee in the House of Representatives called one company name and changed Penelope Beckles' whole persona. I'm going to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. What we rescued Trinidad from is not small and it's not easy. And the Venezuelans are being used by the 1% who have benefited from Venezuelan cocaine. I want you to pay attention to what's going on around you, because the only way forward is to support Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and she has my full and complete support. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.